What is up? I just hooked up this huge UPS system up to my main PC here. Got my monitor turned on. My main computer here. This mess right here. This is a pretty big monster computer here. The size of the fan on the top is bigger than my hand. It's a 6 core running about 4 gigahertz. So it's not exactly power efficient. And just turned on that printer and this printer. Seems like when they warmed up they were drawing some power. But look at this. I tested this before with that Fluke power analyzer. So it's probably about right. Averaging about 320 watts just sitting there at the computer. I'm just running on battery. I'm going to run the batteries down a little bit on this. This UPS is not plugged into the wall. This is running off of batteries. Yep. So I should fire up something in Adobe Premiere that started coding and see if that actually draws more power. Okay, I got something queued up in Adobe Premiere. That should be a little hog on the processor. This thing's kind of mellowed out about 277 watts. So, going to hit Q, or actually export, see what happens. Holy crap, that thing just jumped up to 400 watts. As soon as I hit that button, that went up 120 watts. Probably do I go and open another app like Photoshop while that's running. Yep. 415 spike 2. 435 I just saw. Yeah, computer is a beast. About 400 watts as Adobe Premiere runs. So Photoshop just to start it up. Oh, now the video's gonna be done. Oop, just dropped down under 300 watts again. So basically, to run that, to process the videos, which it goes pretty fast. Yeah, it's 120 watts over idle. So I probably should set up the efficiency mode on this. It's been a long time. I don't even know if it's supported in Windows 10 to kind of drop down the frequency. Let's see here. I think the new task manager in Windows 10 will show the processors and whatnot. So there's a gig just sitting there in RAM for Adobe Premiere. Performance, here we go. CPU. Yeah. Let's export that again as something else. Kind of see what it does here. .77 gigahertz. 2.8. That's probably not reporting the right speed because I know this thing's running about 3.8 something, 3.9 according to the BIOS. And, it's hitting about 90% of the processor. Core 6, 2.8. Maximum speed. I think this is that's before you overclock it. It's running close to 4 gigahertz. I know other things will tell you that it is. Anyway, for those of you that don't have Windows 10, this is what it looks like. It's pretty badass actually now that almost all the glitches are out. Except for Project Spartan doesn't work no more. I don't know what else is a hog on this computer but it did use 90% something percent, or about 90% of the processor. That was a pretty good test on that deal. So battery is still at 78%. It was like at 80 something when I fired up at 245 or 445. I mean, this has been running 15 minutes. So I just fired up CPU Z, which identifies processors and everything, and it definitely is saying I'm running about 3.6 gigahertz. That's what it was. I didn't remember right earlier, but pretty close to 4. I've ran it at 4 before, but it's been absolutely stable at 3.6. Oh, look, it is ramping. Power dropping down. That's probably when it's sitting at 277. So I think this is kind of... So let's code the video again. Oh, it didn't ask to overwrite. Yeah, see it's up to 3.6 right there. Yep. Graphics. Memory at 1.6. Glad I might get more memory on this graphics card. I guess not. It's getting old now. Need a new NVIDIA card. Definitely it's 3.6 when that sucker's blasting 400 watts. Watch this. 90%. Right when that drops, my wattage is going to drop. Yep, 1 gigahertz. That just dropped down 120 watts. So, yeah. So I guess it already is managing the processor. Shoot, that just jumped up and back down when it did something. So my computer's already dropping down to just 1 gigahertz when it's idle. Put that over there so to see when I launch something like Windows Explorer, I'll probably bust its balls for a second. The web browsers are no joke anymore. They're hogs. Close that again. And Explorers. Of course, this computer's fast. I mean, I remember where I used to work. All the computers would just piss me off because they were all slow. Like Firefox, I don't really use it. It's not opening into a home page. How about Chrome? It's open already. Explorer's the only one I really got programmed going to something. So, got a little patsy killing here, by the way. So yeah, this computer's about 4 or 5 years old. It's still no joke though. No joke. Sometimes I think of upgrading, but it's not slow. I would like to have it maybe, encode these videos at warp speed, but this is not a slow computer by any means. It's still pretty badass. So. Alright, so I'm going to upload that video and then I'm going to encode this one. Getting close to an hour of operation, down to 30%. Okay, it's been a full hour of running my PC and printers and everything. It dropped from 90% down to 20% over an hour. So I'm going to plug this sucker in. Hasn't been plugged in yet. Hopefully it charges. This will be my first time testing the charging circuit actually. Just went to AC power. Some fans kick up. So it didn't hiccup the unit to switch over to AC power. I'll give that just a few minutes and see if it shows the battery a percentage increasing at all. See if this thing, my free 2200 watt UPS was well worth it. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or so. Just plugged in. It's definitely charging. Back up to 43%. I'm gonna unplug it. Right over the battery. Power didn't even miss a beat. Sweet. Back in. Cool. Badass. It's a little overkill, but be able to run everything off that thing.